talk about what your day-to-day sort of operation is like now? Because I feel like, all of these podcasts that I do and these interviews, we talk about all the work that goes in, getting started. And I'm sure there's a lot of work just to maintain this, but what is your sort of day-to-day life like? Do you enjoy it? Are you satisfied? Are you glad you went in this direction? Can you just kind of talk about what it's like doing this, for a full-time career?
Yeah, I love it. As someone who had middle class parents that experienced the recession and who ended up with some significant student loan debt, and someone that had to live on tuna for certain weeks and live in studio apartments. And my first setup was basically I could literally roll out of the bed. Like if this chair is here, the bed was back here. Like I would literally roll out of the bed. As someone that really started from very meager beginnings, I'm extremely happy to be doing what I'm doing. And these days, in terms of my day to day, it's maybe a little more relaxed than it used to be. I used to compose, I tried to do like 10 tracks a week back in the day, and try to always put new stuff out and stuff. But in terms of day to day, and I'd like to kind of get up and maybe show people the setup a little bit. So
Yeah.
And it's winter now, so that's why I got a big beard. So this is a home studio, and that's kind of tough for some people to. Hope you could flip this for some people to deal with, being able to work out of a home studio. So I basically have my setup here, which is a pretty close setup of pretty much when I started. Just back in the day, it would have been a laptop and it would have been one screen, but now it would have been maybe KRK speakers, but now it's Yamaha. So this is my basically my finished basement, and this is an area that we track drums, and usually there's a drum set here, so we try to do live instruments a lot. And I have several woodwind instruments that I use on tracks, and several brass instruments and percussion. But basically, the day starts upstairs in the kitchen. So we'll give you the real deal here. See, I'm not a super rich composer. I still turn the lights off here, but it starts off in the kitchen. Usually get nice coffee. We're looking about 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So I'll eat my food and that kind of stuff, and see what my wife is up to, and she goes to work, and I go to quote unquote work downstairs. So go downstairs.
This is really cool.
Yeah. So,
you're the first guest to ever give us a tour of your studio and in-house.
And then and then I come here, and usually it's morning, and I have this awesome window, and usually sometimes it's morning. I get to look out here. I have a pond in the back. I get to hear the birds chirping and stuff, which is really nice about Connecticut. Sometimes I'd like to sit out there, and I do write with paper, Aaron. I still write with paper, and sometimes I take the paper and write outside, and just maybe sit on the couch and answer emails and stuff like that. But when it's time to work, it's time to work. So this is where a lot of the action happens, and I might have to go upstairs for some personal thing, or if there's a session musician coming in. We have a small live room here. We do a lot of recordings, and I have an assistant that might come in mid-afternoon, and when it comes to evening, it tends to be family time or a personal time, or if my majority of my family is actually traveling, so I'm actually writing at night, but I try not to do that too much. I like to kind of have big creative bursts in the morning kind of stuff, but that's basically the day. And now that I'm sort of doing a little publishing, a lot of my day is spent with emails and things like that, and pitching and working with co-writers and sending stems. But I just like to get down and compose, and that's hopefully I get some more time to do that. But these days it's a fun schedule. It's a great life. I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm ungrateful. I'm very grateful. It's a great life. Takes a lot of hard work, but it's not rocket science. It's the answers are very clear. The steps are very clear. You just gotta
do
hard.
it.
If you want it, it'll happen. But that's the day to day.